Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us and tuning in to our very first Healy Solution series. Our topic this month is pain relief. I'm just going to draw your attention right away to the interpretation globe on your screen. If you're logging in with us through Zoom, we are going to be hosting this call in English as the primary language, but we have Chinese and Spanish available for you in the interpretation option. So that little globe at the bottom of your screen should be at the bottom. It is on mine. That says interpretation. Just click that and go ahead and select the language of your choice for this evening's call. Thank you so much. I'm going to get started right away because we have an amazing call. We've got a short window. We're going to get this done for you in half an hour, sharing about Healy and pain relief. And joining us today to help cover the topic and explain a little bit how what pain is and how that works in our bodies and our system and how Healy can support us with our pain relief. I'd like to welcome to our call Stephanie Brandreth. Thank you so much for joining and sharing your expertise with us this evening, Stephanie.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. And let's just jump right in. Actually, Healy, I bought the Healy for pain relief myself. So I know the subject and it is a very passionate subject of mine. Healy is a small portable device that helps to harmonize your bioenergetic field with uh, individualized microcurrent frequencies. It also marries science and holistic health in a very personalized way. It is actually considered a medical device, a class 2 medical device, cleared by the FDA and Health Canada in the cases of acute and chronic pain, arthritic pain, and muscle soreness. So the definition of pain is both a sensory and an emotional experience. But pain is usually comes in because it's signaling that something is happening in the body, and it usually reflects inflammation. So two types of pain. There's acute pain, which is usually short-lived. It's usually because of an injury or an infection or an illness. And it usually be associated with a throbbing pain. So that's usually the body telling you that something's going on and your body's actually working to recover. Then there's actually chronic pain. So chronic pain is actually when that acute pain continues on and lingers. And then that is a long-lived 3 to 6 month period. So usually will develop into more intense situations such as arthritis and back pain and migraines, things that are persistent. Now, the interesting thing with chronic pain and pain in general is that it's usually an indication and a sign that there is abnormal voltage and energy within the cell. So the cell isn't working properly. So pain obviously can have a wide range of impacts, from mobility to really limiting our movements in our daily activities, to creating pain when we're lying in bed, so creating insomnia and restless nights. It can even go to creating lack and difficulty of concentration and mental fog. And then also it can even persist into more chronic and debilitating pain where you're really exhausted and have a tendency even now to isolate because it just hurts and you don't want to leave the house. And so chronic pain usually leads to stress, anxiety, depression, and creates really a negative feedback cycle. And I'll explain this a little bit further as we move ahead. So obviously Healy will deliver microcurrent frequency within the body. So the frequencies are actually go into the cell. So each cell of the body has, a membrane, a cell membrane, and that membrane has an electrical potential. And sick cells, injured cells will actually vibrate at a lower voltage. And what this does is when the cell is actually vibrating at a lower voltage, there's not much activity happening. There's no oxygen coming in, and then there's no release of toxins. So that's why inflammation occurs. So Healy comes in and restores that electrical balance, actually increasing that voltage and helping the cells restore balance and promote recovery. So the microcurrents can help increase ATP production up to 500%. Also, the microcurrents will help the amino acids get to the point or to the place of injury 40 times faster, and also the synthesis of tissue 70 times faster as well. Taking all this into consideration, so if the voltage in the cell is increased, and then we can get more oxygen within the cell, well, then the toxins are leaving, so the inflammation leaves, the muscles and the fibers and the nerves are more relaxed, there's a better circulation, and then your body can actually secrete endorphins, which actually is our natural pain relief mechanism. And then so that's really like how it works. It's non-invasive, it's drug-free, and you can definitely incorporate it within any type of pain relief program or protocol, as I did within my own story. So it really helped me. Within 2-3 months, my chronic pain had completely dissipated. So it was really magnificent. So it's really that Healy is really fine-tuning the electrical circuit, the voltage within the cell, which is super, super important, because once the voltage goes down, then there's less oxygenation, more inflammation, and it's kind of downhill from there. So there are not many things on the market that can really help increase the voltage of the cell and help it do its activities. Success stories. Okay, so here's a testimony. So as a high-level competitive athlete, there are many instances where pain is at the forefront of the game. After a big hit, physical play, athletes know it takes a huge toll on the body. Often there are many games in one day, and the Healy has been so incredible to help my body and my teammates' bodies with pain management to feel confident for another game. Yeah, that makes so much sense. Megan, I think, is going to share another success story in Spanish.
Hello, my name is Maria Yepes. In 2023, I had a rather serious medical condition that led me to have 3 surgeries. During the 3rd hospitalization, on the day I was discharged, they had already disconnected me from all the machines. Honestly, I thought I was gonna die. The pain returned to my body. The nurse who was by my side said to me, "Rate your pain from 1 to 10. According to a little chart we had in front of us, and I told her, "I'm a 10. She said to me, "We can't give you any medication because the doctors haven't come up yet." I closed my eyes. I fell asleep. I don't know if I slept for 10 minutes or 2 hours. When I woke up, the nurse was once again standing by my side, and she said to me, "How much pain are you in now?" I looked at the little chart and told her, "0. "What medication did you give me?" And she said, "None. The doctors haven't come up yet, but they gave you a frequency therapy." And I said, "Frequency therapy, what is that?" It took my pain from 10 down to 0. So from that moment on, I was really intrigued and started to find out what it was all about. I saw the quote from Nikola Tesla that says, "If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Those 3 little words really stuck with me. And I found this device that reads your biomagnetic field and analyzes which frequencies are out of balance. Then it sends you the correct frequencies to balance your body and mind.
We are at the end of Maria Yepes's testimonial on pain. I would love if you could share with us, Stephanie, though, your experiences that you've had using the Healy for pain relief as well.
Okay, well, I definitely in my naturopathic practice. I have many different testimonies, but I have one really amazing testimony of a client of mine who works in construction, and he literally tore his tendon in the shoulder. And he couldn't lift his arm even a centimeter. He was in extreme pain. And luckily, he had already bought a Healy for me because he kind of has that. He actually tore his other shoulder, and it took 6 months and with debilitating pain to recover. That was before he had his Healy. And then when it happened to his second shoulder, he's not a lucky guy, but when it happened to his second shoulder, he was actually able to rebuild the tendon in 2 weeks without the pain. So that's one of the most amazing testimonies that I have with pain and also regeneration with the Healy device. When we're talking about pain relief, obviously, as I mentioned before, the notion of charging the cell is super important, because when the cell has low voltage, you can take all the medication and have all the great nutrients that you want, but your cells will not be getting the proper nutrients and won't be able to eliminate the toxins from the cell. So super important. I would actually put Healy like #1 on that chart. So Healy is super important because it's actually helping the cells get that voltage back. And then you're layering in the really nutritious foods, anti-inflammatory foods, lots of antioxidants, omega-3s, leafy greens, the good fiber. So super important. We need to eliminate the pesticides, eliminate processed foods, everything that's kind of white, because that's not nourishing. So you need to layer in the really nutritious foods. And then also movement and stretching is super important, because actually the lymphatic system is kind of considered, it's kind of like the garbage. I mean, we move through the wastes within our body with the lymphatic system, and the lymphatic system does not have a pump. So we actually really need to move the body, stretch, and actually bring a lot of movement to move the lymphatic fluid through the body so that we can eliminate properly. And then obviously, and not lastly, is definitely reducing the amount of stress. Like, I know I'm talking really fast because I was really stressed at the beginning of this, so I'm trying to slow down. But it's very important to reduce the amount of stress that we exert on our bodies and on our cells, so that we can bring our hormones back into balance, and we can actually have more resilience with experiences, with whatever happens in our outer world, and cultivating mindfulness. So nature walks and journaling and deep breaths and breathing and meditation actually really helps to calm down the nervous system. These are all really good habits to incorporate within a pain relief protocol. So the experience the benefits. Yes, pain. Healy is not just for pain, because, well, I mean, if we're taking care of eliminating the pain, the stress, the toxins from the body, you're going to sleep better. You're going to be less stressed. You're going to have more energy. You're going to have more resilience. You're going to have more emotional resilience as well, because you'll be able to tolerate things in your life. So stress is, the pain is such a huge thing that people live with, and really don't need to live with pain. I mean, when we have such amazing tools that can help us eliminate and be free of the pain, so that we can live a more balanced life and improve the quality of our life on a daily basis. So that means, fewer medications and more physical activity, healthier relationships, more happiness and joy and abundance, because naturally, if you're feeling better, you're just going to attract better things towards you. So so that's just kind of law of attraction. And so Healy's really that tool that's going to help you empower, that will help empower yourself and help you take control over your well-being and your health in a holistic way. And there's a really awesome thing that Healy does offer here, and it's this ability to share the wellness, to share. See, this is actually what happened to me and my story, because when I bought the Healy, I bought it for my own pain relief. And I didn't really realize that there was such a great opportunity. But when I started sharing about it with my clients and they started seeing how I had totally shifted, and then they bought their Heelys, and then they started living the experience, and they were sharing it with other people. And it was just like, we're just sharing the joy of this amazing technology. But at the same time, when you're sharing, you can actually get a nice compensation. So when you do share your experience and you share your story and your experience with Healy with people, you can actually earn a little income. So it's a really nice little sideline. And I've kind of layered that into my business, into my naturopathic business, because I can't help myself but share my enthusiasm and my love for this technology. So, you know, I can get very passionate and talk a lot. So yeah, I think that, you know, if you need to live the experience. And once you live the experience, you won't be able to hold yourself back. And then by sharing this experience, you know, you can definitely grow, have a nice little sideline income, money coming in. So your journey to less pain and greater vitality begins today.
So I want to first thank you so much for running through that and sharing with us. Obviously, your experience with Healy since you started, yourself using it for your own personal benefits and health journey and wellness journey. And then obviously discovering that you had a passion to share it with others and help them achieve greater health and wellness through incorporating Healy in their holistic lifestyle as well. We had some questions, some comments coming in the chat while you were sharing with us tonight. So I just want to take a quick look and scan it to see if there's anything that we can get you to address and answer for everybody watching tonight. Some of them are in Spanish. I think they are comments from my understanding of how they're using Healy, what they've used it for, results that they've seen, sort of their own testimonials here as well. Not so many questions to us on that, but if there is one, I'm sure my colleague will pop in and let us know. And I do have one in English that I see here wondering, do you recommend the cords or the bracelets or the electrodes over the coils for cell rebuild?
Well, yeah, definitely either the electrodes that you can place directly on each injury site or wherever you have pain, and to send the microcurrents directly into the cell. So that's why we're working with the electrodes or the bracelets. So it's really, that works on the physical body for the regeneration. The coil is going to work more on the emotional, mental, and spiritual body. We'll still have an effect on the long run, but if you want a more direct effect, definitely the electrodes or the bracelets.
Perfect. And then I see some questions coming in about specific programs that were used for treating different ailments. The best way, I mean, there are so many programs within Healy, you know, of course, correct me if I misstep here, but there's so many programs. It's why we really like to advise people to use the Heal Advisor app. That's that one specific app, not the what we call it, the pink dot or the blue dot, but the Heal Advisor app, which is kind of the rainbow dot, the rainbow app. To just plug in what your ailment is, what you're dealing with, what you're suffering with, and it will give you recommendations of protocols of programs to run to deal with that. So many times we may think that we're feeling a side effect, we're feeling a pain. So for sure we may go to treat the symptom that we're feeling. But when we use the Heal Advisor app, it may give you a protocol and a list of programs, and you might find some of the recommendations surprising. But reading our bioenergetic field and understanding what's going on with us on a deeper level than what we're able to identify ourselves, it's sending us to all of the programs that can affect and harmonize all of the areas of our bioenergetic field that are out of alignment to help us, again, get that all back into alignment for a holistic approach to dealing with whatever it was that we put in is our specific, issue, bursitis or knee pain or swelling or an, emotional thing. Whatever you put in, that Heal Advisor app will build a protocol and send you program recommendations.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And I feel like some people prefer, it's kind of a no-brainer. They kind of like put in their ailment and then they'll put together a program and they're like, okay, I'm going to do those 2 programs, and they get really good results.
For sure. We have that next question coming in. Again, it's about what programs would you use for emergency pain, like very acute pain. Again, I would say going to the Heal Advisor app. There are a lot of programs that you can see in program groups that you might identify just by the name of it, that it is clearly a program that is going to help address the emergency pain or specific issue that you're dealing with in the moment. So you can look at all of those program groups and identify that. Pain and stimulation might be somewhere that you would look for that and applying. I mean, if there's acute pain in one particular area, like Stephanie said, whichever specific program you choose, you would want to run that with the electrodes to really identify and localize the microcurrents to that specific area that you're treating for that emergency pain that you're feeling. But if you're not sure which program specifically to use based on which one it is, definitely the Heal Advisor app will tell you which one to use and then how to run it, whether, bracelets, coil, or electrodes, you'll be able to identify.
I saw that question with the migraine. We actually have a migraine program. Yeah, in the pain and stimulation category.
So Nancy Estelle, no, it says that you are only running 2 a day. You can run up to 3 programs a day with the microcurrent frequency. So that would be the bracelets or the electrodes. You can run up to 3 a day. They just suggest to run it with a break in between. So you don't run the programs back to back to give your body time to, absorb, treat, and manage all of the frequencies that you've just sent it from one program group with the physical, with the bracelets or the electrodes. So you want to take a break, usually about a couple of hours if you can, in between the programs that you're running in the day, but you can run up to 3 programs with microcurrents, bracelets, or electrodes within the day. You can run more programs with that if you're using the coil. It's really the bracelets and the electrodes that is a recommended limit of 3 per day. So you can do a 4th, 5th program in the day if you're doing the coil or even the Blue app without, if you're going into the other world and aspects of Healy, you can run those programs as well. There's no maximum within a day. We always just suggest, like anything else, right? Your body is reading and absorbing and understanding and implementing, the information that we're sending it with frequencies. So we don't want to overload the system with too many different frequencies for different things all at the same time and expect it to be able to manage that. So it's like addressing one thing and sending one, frequency or not one frequency because there's multiples, but one program at a time, and then allowing the body to really absorb that and to really manage that information and do with it what it needs to before we send some more frequencies and information to the bodies.
So what I suggest to people is actually choose a focus and then work on that focus. So one focus a day, so that you're just like sending the frequencies and everything that's kind of connects to that in one focus, and you're working one area instead of like working too many things at the same time. Then that's just kind of, scattering the frequencies everywhere.
So there are a lot of programs, Stephanie, for specific requesting like specific programs. So definitely, I would say if there are people in your network with whom you're very comfortable working and who do work with protocols and everything, don't be shy to reach out to them for guidance and suggestion on those kinds of things, as well as of course the Heal Advisor app, which can create that program for you of exactly what you're suggesting is how many programs to run or which programs to want to run each day to treat a chronic ailment so that you can get that relief and that management and that support in your system for Healy on a continuous basis.
I have one pro tip. Actually, when I am working with people who have like shoulder injuries or tinnitus, or not tinnitus, well, tinnitus, but
Bursitis?
NSM, yeah, bursitis. I'm also looking at what meridians are passing, because we've got like 6 meridians in each arm. We have meridians and energy channels kind of flowing throughout our body. So I'm going to look at what meridians are in the area and see if we'll work those meridians as well as the tissues. So it'll have like a kind of an emotional, energetic component as well as just physical.
And the reason I think using the Heal Advisor app for protocols or anything else is because, like you said, it's often multiple things that we're going to want to deal with at the same time, right? There's going to be an element of pain and discomfort that you're going to want to address. There may be an element of something happening within your muscles, within your tissues that you're going to want to address. There could be energy blockages within the meridians that you're going to want to address to help with that as well. So there's many different levels on which you can work that one issue in order to, address it all essentially.
Yeah.
I know we could probably go down this road of, of specific issues and examples of things that we suffer with and how, we can address those. I think it's really important to continue these conversations, to continue these calls. I want to say, number one, thank you everybody for joining us this evening on this call. Again, it is the first of many Healy Solutions series. We're going to continue these calls with amazing Healy world members like Stephanie, who's joined us tonight to help discuss many other specific topics and areas where the Healy can support our holistic health and wellness. We are now 8 o'clock and Healy has an incredible Tech Tip Tuesday with Ken Close and Jake Barron that starts right now. So please go right ahead. Actually, you know what? Before I even stop this, I'll just see if somebody can drop a link right in the chat where we are here for those that want to, kind of continue the learning and the technical questions that you might have about your Healy device and what that can do. So this Tech Tip Tuesday is an amazing resource with incredible gentlemen, super knowledgeable about Healy, to go and with whom you can address many questions and they can help you with that. So don't be shy. There we go. There is the link. Thank you, Ken. There is the link for that next call. So again, I'm like talking just to give everybody a chance to grab that link that's in the chat right now so you can go and continue on that call. And we will be sharing, of course, again, about next month's Healy Solution Series call. I hope to see many of you, if not all of you, there again next month for our next topic. Thank you all so much. Thank you again, Stephanie, so much for sharing all of your knowledge and your expertise with us this evening. I wish you all a wonderful evening.